Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Oh my goodness, what a great show we have for you. Talking about something I have no idea what it is. It's neurofeedback. I've been doing my notes like I always do, but don't worry, I have guests here on the show to talk us through, to explain exactly what it is, and it has so many great benefits. So we'll tell you about that a little bit later on in the show. Got a great walk coming up and a candlelight vigil, raising funds for Easter seals. We'll be talking about a brand new event happening in Ottawa, Pumpkins After Dark. And speaking of pumpkins, my next guest says the pumpkin season has begun, and they are incredibly busy. Danika Carmichael, Director of Operations at the Foster Family Farm, back on the show. You always get excited to come here, Danika. I can just feel the energy in you bubbling away over there.
I'm excited that I have real veggies for you this time, not fake ones like last time.
That was so funny. It's the first thing you said to me when you walked in. Derek, I brought the real veggies this time. Yeah, but imagine what you would have had to bring at that time. When did you come on last?
Oh, gosh, it would have been like potatoes, onions, and maybe squash, stuff that kind of overwinters. But yeah, everything's fresh right now, so...
Yeah, tell me about the season. What's this season been like, the growing season?
It's been busy. That's definitely for sure. Like hundreds of thousands of broccoli, lots of cauliflower. We had a great CSA season, lots of customers there. And I've experimented with some new crops this year too. Yeah, which is really exciting.
A farm scientist? Is that what you're telling me? What's going on?
Mel kind of gives me the leeway to kind of experiment with some new things that I think might take off. And one of the biggest things I tried this year was sweet potatoes. You can see one of them hiding in there right there. Yeah, I dug them up a little preemptively because, I should wait a couple more weeks, but I was really excited and I wanted to see what they looked like. Nice. It's been a great season so far, and we're getting to the end stretch of it with our pumpkins, but and then we'll quiet down for a little while.
You mentioned CSA, something that I've done in the past. For those that aren't familiar with how that program works, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so our CSA program usually starts the first full week of July and runs until almost Thanksgiving. We're on a 14-week program. We've kind of looked at different options for that, if we can expand our season. We're not quite there yet. We're also we're looking into doing a winter CSA, but I don't have the details on that just yet, just because.
Well, I thought we had an exclusive with you here for a moment. My goodness.
No, not quite. I've got to get that sorted out still before I can really officially say if that's happening. But yeah, we're on week 13 right now, and the boxes are really full because it's prime time for squashes, and
it's really an investment in the farm, right?
It really is.
That's the idea behind it.
It's like a partnership with the farm. So when we've got things in abundance, you get lots of very full, heavy boxes.
Right.
We have had... There was a year where we didn't have great strawberries, and unfortunately that was kind of passed along to our CSA customers, but I'm sure it's kind of been made up for it in the years that there's an abundance of things.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of just a pledge to help the farmer, and you get a share of what's going on in the farm, and the different boxes are in different sizes to kind of accommodate your family size and whatever your household eats.
Tell me about your role, Director of Operations. What's a day at the farm for Danika?
A day at the farm for Danika. It really kind of just depends. Strawberry season, it can be very early, about 6:30 to kind of get the staff members going. We've got around 35 sales staff that work for us, because we have, I think on a Saturday with all our farmers markets, there's 14 or 15 different locations.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Holy cow.
It can get very busy. So, and then we definitely pull some late nights. There are some nights where Mel and I are in the office and his dad will come in and be like, "What are you two doing? Are you insane?" But we love what we do, so it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, that's, I think sometimes people look at, farming as, and it's incredibly hard work, don't get me wrong, but there's also, the fact that you're waking up in a beautiful space every day, right?
No, it's a lifestyle, I find.
Right.
Like, I don't kind of really consider it a like a job, like a 9-to-5 job.
Who are you talking to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no.
I get to come and have fun every day.
For sure.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
No, and I really enjoy what I do, so I don't mind one bit.
Let's do a little show and tell.
For sure.
Let's start here on the left and tell us what you brought along with you here today.
I kind of tried to bring a little bit of everything off the farm. So we've got 2 different types of tomatoes here. We've got our field tomatoes and our Roma tomatoes. Field tomatoes are definitely everyone's favorite for toasted tomato sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
Roma tomatoes are more for your sauces. I am not free enough to be in the kitchen making sauces and stuff, but there are lots of people that come to us. There was a guy this morning and he got 5 bushels of tomatoes, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm sure you'll have fun.
Now, toasted tomato sandwich, mayo or no mayo?
I'm not a mayo lover. I know, I'm sorry.
I'm walking off set. You're on your own. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Brussels sprouts. So you surprised one of our crew members. She had never seen how they grow before. I've seen them before, but it's pretty cool.
It's very common. People have never seen them grow like that before, and especially when I throw these purple ones in here. That's one of the things that I wanted to try this year.
Nice.
I find them a little bit sweeter than the regular Brussels sprouts, but I also kind of found they didn't form as nicely as I had hoped. But anyways, it's a work in progress. They got a bad name though, eh? The Brussels sprout? I don't know why, because I love them.
I love them too. I think it's because our grandparents boiled the heck out of them.
Yeah, no.
What?
No.
Who said that? Granny, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it's true.
We don't boil things.
You've got some cabbage there.
Yeah, for
what
sure.
have you got here?
We've got a spaghetti squash.
Okay.
That's definitely a fan favorite. More squashes down that way, but we'll get to those in a minute. Beans, I've got them in yellow and green, but I just happened to have yellow as I was running out the door this morning.
I think that might be my favorite.
Yeah?
Oh, I just love beans. Yeah, absolutely.
Fair enough.
How much time? We had a minute? Oh, 2 minutes. Okay. Sorry, Jewel.
We'll make it quick then.
Okay.
Broccoli, fan favorite, of course. Usually there's cauliflower with it too, and I grow cauliflower in 3 different colors, so people find
Orange, purple, white?
Yes, that's right. There you go.
I know my veggies, girlfriend.
You can grow them in green, but I think they look weird.
Okay. I have seen green, actually. You're right. They do look a little strange.
Look right.
It's like they're trying to imitate the broccoli.
It's
something
just,
weird.
It's wrong. It's not right.
Gotcha.
We've got our sweet potato in there, regular potatoes, onions, sweet corn. Honestly, that's my favorite. I eat it raw. It's that sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
Keep going.
I've got a couple things here that Miss Shirley made up for me before we left. Stuffed peppers are honestly, they're so good, and you can do them so many different ways.
Yeah, rice, beef.
Yeah, for sure.
Other veggies.
Like we've got some tomatoes in there, garlic, and then the peppers themselves and all the different colors.
What is this?
That's one of the really good ones. So that's an acorn squash. Some people also call it pepper squash.
I thought it was like a s'mores of some kind, but you've added the marshmallows to add a little sweetness to it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You just roast it, and then you can scoop the seeds out. Super simple.
Very cool.
And then marshmallows in for a little bit of sweetness, and it's really good. You can do them the small squashes, or you can use a big guy like this and then quarter them, and then you've got single servings for each person you're having over.
People can find you online and find out more about a CSA if they want to get involved in the next season, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent. Danika, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Do I have to give the corn back?
I can let you keep it.
Just the one corn.
I
don't ask for a lot in life. We're going to be talking more pumpkins right after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, my name is Sean Duhame. And this is the Sean Duhame Trio. I hope you enjoyed.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Hi, I'm Meg, and this is Fit Finley, and we're from Fit Over 50. Join me for a new season, which is full of awesome workouts designed for adults 50 plus. Improve your motivation, your strength, and your energy. Join me for a new season of Fit Over 50 exclusively on Rogers TV.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Unbelievable. You just never see that. What a shot.
The OHL on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. Well, I think we just had a pumpkin connection during the break, my friends. And it's the perfect connection because my next guest has an exciting new event here in Ottawa. It's happening at Wesley Clover Park. Here to tell us all about it, I'm joined by Mike Sheppard, show creator of Pumpkins After Dark. Welcome. Great to have you here. I loved it. The first thing you did, you walked over to Danika. You're like, I need your card. We need a lot of pumpkins for next season,
we do.
Right?
We go through thousands.
Is it that many? Like, how many pumpkins would you have on display?
So it depends. Like the show is comprised of both synthetic pumpkins like these, and real.
Gotcha.
Right. So the real ones won't last. To put a show on that we do, it takes about 8,000 of these pumpkins.
My God.
A crew of 8 people an entire year to carve.
You're kidding.
So, and then we have live carvers carving real pumpkins on site as well. But as you know, real pumpkins don't last more than a week.
And feed them to deer, by the way. The deer love they do. They love pumpkins.
So do kangaroos.
Oh, do they really? How do you know that?
That's another story.
Okay, we'll talk off camera. We'll go for a beverage someday. So, Mike, tell me the inspiration behind this. How this all came to be for you.
You know, this was someone, our partner, his brainchild. It started in Milton, Ontario. Maybe 6 years ago, and through a friend of a friend, he reached out to us because we do other Halloween events like haunted houses.
Right.
We teamed up to bring this show to Ottawa. So yeah, it's a fascinating show. It's what's been missing in the Halloween market, I find, is Halloween is either for little kids or there's haunted houses. Right. Which a lot of people love Halloween, don't want to get scared.
Yeah.
You know, don't want to dress up, but they still want to get out. So this event is for all ages. I call it an art exhibition. It's all hand-carved art. You know, and people just walk around. It's about a kilometer walk, and it's beautiful.
And that's the other thing I like is that it's a walk. And, you know, Wesley Clover does a great job. They have their Christmas lights, right, where you sort of drive through. But I like the idea of getting out of the car, right, into fresh air. It's fall, right, so it's a little crisp. You get to bundle up a little bit and walk through. So how long would this walk take somebody? Like, what do you expect?
You know, the average customer probably spends, I'd say, anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half.
Oh, nice.
You can take longer. Some people take shorter when they're cold or, you know, have smaller kids. It's up to you. It's only a kilometer walk, but some people will stop and take photos at every single one, and they're there for hours. We also have performers there. We have food trucks. We have a lot of photo ops, so you can turn it into an evening if you want.
I can just see like a group, a family, or just a group of friends going down. And you also have like there's ambiance to all of this as well, right? You're not just walking along and there's no sounds and music and that sort of thing, right?
It's night, and so we have lit up trees. We have fog. We have sound playing. It's just a beautiful evening.
Look at this. We're showing this. What is that we just saw?
Well, that's one of our
most
popular things. That's our tunnel. It's our magical tunnel, and people walk through it, and you get to take pictures in it, and we have pumpkins in it, lined all along it, and carved pumpkins all over. It's fascinating.
That's amazing. So how long does it take to do the setup at Wesley Clover to get this up and running?
Well, we're on week 2, so it takes about 2 weeks. It takes us a crew of about 14 people to set it up. for 2 weeks.
You said, obviously these carvers that are, if you're looking at stuff like this, like these are artists, right? They're not just, every day off the street, hey, you want to come carve a pumpkin? I mean, you're talking about award-winning carvers most likely, right?
Hands down, yeah. It is a skill that takes years of practice. And what's interesting about carving a pumpkin like this is the only way to really tell is to turn off the lights and start carving, because the more you carve, the more light comes through it.
Right.
So it's not like coloring where you can just see it. You have to kind of do it in the dark, and it's trial and error, or do it in the dark.
What's your background? Like, how did you get involved in doing events like this?
Well, my wife and I we still have a haunted house, like a Halloween carnival that we do in another city. And so we've been doing that, and we've just always loved Halloween. Got into it 20 some odd years ago, and now we love the fact that this is more of a generic, all ages, less niche kind of event. We get to share it with everybody. We love art, we love Halloween, and we get to do it.
It's perfect. Yeah. I mean, just looking at that visual, just that tunnel alone, which is a small portion of what people are going to see when they're walking around. What about highlight? What would you say? I mean, maybe a personal favorite, but what's your favorite part of this? What would the highlight be for you?
As a customer or as a
customer?
As a customer, I would say the customer's highlight is going to be that tunnel.
Okay.
It all depends. When you have little kids, we have some very cartoony stuff. There are people who love Halloween. We have some zombie horror kind of stuff. So it all depends on who you are. The highlight for me is watching the reactions of people.
I can imagine.
I love that.
Are you surprised how much Halloween has exploded? I mean, I think it's now second on the list of holiday of how much we spend, right? As consumers, Christmas holiday season #1 probably continues to be, but Halloween, it's just exploded over the last, I would say, decade to 2 decades.
Correct. Yeah. I would say the last couple decades for sure. We've been following a trend in the U.S. and the U.S. spends so much money on their lawns, and they deck out their houses. They spend more on Halloween than they do on Christmas.
Crazy.
And we are following that trend. You see more restaurants getting into it, more events happening. It's really nice. It's just a nice, not yet commercialized, event. You just come out and enjoy your day.
I love it. The other great thing is you've partnered up with the Ottawa Senators Foundation. Tell me about that partnership.
We have, yeah. So we've teamed up with those guys. They're fantastic. I mean, they're all about helping youth, and that's what we like to do also. We help people, a lot of people with new jobs. Like we hire a lot of first-time.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of youth come into our place. So I'd say between the locations that we're doing our event this season, we will hire over 500 people.
Amazing.
And most of them, at least half, it's a first-time job.
Right.
So it's really nice to be able to get out and help them. And the Senators Foundation does a lot of great work in helping people, and youth, which we...
Yeah, exactly.
It fits exactly with what we do.
Not to mention, it's great having them back, right? We lost them for a little bit, and then the excitement around the Sens with the new ownership, and you're seeing, Chris Neal's a part of it. Chris Phillips it looks like, Daniel Alfredson's coming back in. So it's exciting times. You guys chose the best. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it, Mike. Reminder, Pumpkins After Dark, Wesley Clover Park, September 29th to October 31st, Thursday to Sunday evenings. You can visit the website to find out more information. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Remembering the Children, National Day for Truth and Reconciliation will honor residential school survivors, their families, and communities. On September 30th, honor the journeys and the wisdom of Indigenous elders, share their cultures, and inspire our children as we share the commemorative gathering, live from Parliament Hill in Ottawa.
Johnny wanted to go back home. It was 1,000 kilometers away. They forced him to go to the Indian residential school. More than 150,000 of us children had to go. They wanted to change us.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Hallowed be your name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
Kill the Indian and the child. It's been called cultural genocide. I survived residential school. My brother Johnny did not.
Chani Wenjack was one of thousands of children who died due to Canada's residential school system. More than 80,000 survivors and their families still live with its legacy today.
Salut tout le monde, je m'appelle Jessie Lindsay. Venez écouter mon spectacle Encore Ottawa 3 sur Rogers TV cette semaine. Hi everybody, come listen to my Encore Ottawa 3 show on Rogers TV this week. I hope you enjoy it.
Welcome back to the show. I was just telling my next guest, my wife has gotten me into yoga, and it's a game changer, as a matter of fact. We were just talking about the Ottawa Senators. Forsberg coming off a major injury. What did he do all off season? Yoga. It's for everybody, for all abilities, and this event raises funds for a great cause. It's called the 24-hour Yogapalooza, and Linda Myers is a yoga teacher and volunteer organizer. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me here.
Let's talk about yoga, because as I said, my wife did get me into it. I don't do it as often as I should. You know, being somebody that I know, I get. But you know, what attracted you to yoga? What are the benefits you found?
First, I was a fitness instructor.
Okay.
Biggest thing is we're beating up our bodies as we age. Even not being a fitness instructor, you beat up your body. You're sitting, you're standing, you're doing stuff. To give back to our body, to give back to our mind, it's yoga. It'll save our lives. I swear it will.
Well, and obviously you were so passionate about it, you became a yoga instructor. What's that experience been like? Because you're helping people on a daily basis,
It
right?
is, and you don't know who you're bringing into your classes, who's coming to the mat. It's just a wonderful experience. It's just really, 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 I love it. I love it.
Well, you know what else I bet you love is 24-hour Yogapalooza.
It is.
Tell me a little of the history behind this event.
So Steve and Randy are the founders of this.
Yeah.
They created it as a fundraiser for children at CHEO that are fighting cancer.
Right.
Their hashtag is kids shouldn't fight cancer alone. And really, what kids should experience cancer? 89 kids every year are diagnosed.
That's the average.
That's the average. 1 in 5, they say, won't survive. I mean, that in itself, imagine being an adult. I know fighting cancer is horrible. Having a child fight cancer or being a kid with cancer, that's horrible. So bring yoga together, you know, that's just so powerful. And as a fundraiser, I was in. I was in the minute I met them. The minute I said,
yes. So let's talk.
If I can make a small difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how does it work exactly? How does the fundraising work?
So the fundraising is through 24hourYogapalooza.ca. So it's a fun page. You can make a team. You can be part of a team. You can be just a general donator. You can pick a team to donate to. Linda Myers, you can donate to my team.
There you go. Good plug, Linda.
Little plug. And you can come out. You can do all 24 hours. So it's 2 days. This coming Saturday and Sunday, 12 hours a day. And you can come and do all 24 hours. You can come in with a friend, 2 friends, 3 friends, bring everybody, the more the merrier. We want this to be to get the community, get the power of Ottawa behind it. And you can do, like I said, 1 class, 2 classes, 3.
And a great venue as well.
It's at the Ottawa Art Gallery. Cheers. Big kudos to Lydia and Andrew at the Art Gallery for making this happen.
Absolutely amazing. I've been to many events there. The space is absolutely fantastic.
Space is beautiful. So kind of brings that whole, you know, yoga's in our mind and we have to be present, you know, with your breath. And imagine being an artist and you're surrounded by some beautiful art, some lovely music, 24 different teachers.
24? All volunteering their time?
All volunteering their time. So they all come from different yoga studios throughout Ottawa. They're going to have different styles from yin, hatha, power, flow, meditative. It's going to be all kinds of, you know, very powerful weekend for those involved.
Fantastic.
And kudos to all the teachers coming out.
You couldn't do this, Linda, without sponsors either. And you have a couple of great major sponsors, right, helping out?
Yeah, 2 of our gold sponsors, the Tony Graham Automotive Group, as well as Trend Micro. Without them, they gave that, you know, that base that we can start and really get the crowds behind us to go. But again, it doesn't have to be a big company. $5
Yeah,
$10.
exactly.
It all adds up.
Everything counts,
and it
for
all
sure.
goes to like amazing costs.
Yeah. You got what? Your Chio bear here with you today?
Bear.
Nice.
I bring him everywhere. Now the Chio bear itself, our big bear.
Is he coming?
He's coming. He's
Right
going to be
on.
there. He's going to do yoga. I've noticed over the years, I've been 5 years now, how flexible he's getting.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's actually taking it upon himself.
Right.
I'm just going to grab
Which
this.
You should.
Listen, I said I started. I do need it though because you're getting older, you get a little stiff.
Yeah, we're not 18. We're not 18.
That's right. You have a special program this year called Karma Classes for Kids. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so many of the local studios, so the yoga studios in Ottawa are holding special events at the yoga studio with the donations from that, proceeds of that, coming back to 24-hour Yogapalooza, going straight back to Chio.
Fantastic. So you've even gone beyond the event space and people are doing it around town. Also, something else happening is Yoga for Superheroes.
For Superheroes.
What's that about?
This program, this one is a 25th hour. So we expanded it. It's for kids. Superheroes are coming out. I hear Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah, the
That's
Chio.
my all-time favorite.
Oh, Spider-Man?
Yeah.
The Chio Bear is going to be there, and I hear a few others, but I'm not allowed to share all the surprises.
Okay.
But it is for the kids.
So the few superheroes are flying in. Let's just say that, right? Let's do some yoga while you're here. What do you think?
All right.
And I'll tell everybody near the end of the segment where they can find out all the information again.
Here, we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Right.
Here, let me get right. What am I doing with a jacket
and here we are
on
in
doing
shoes
yoga?
and the whole bit.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Yoga doesn't have to be, you don't have to look like a yogi, you don't have to be a yogi, you don't have to have
no
a mat.
man bun.
No, you don't
For
need
me,
that.
I'm okay then. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry.
Perfect. It's perfect.
Couldn't help myself, Linda. Okay.
All right, so bring yourself nice and solid into your feet. Roll your shoulders back and down.
Okay.
Maybe just soften your face, your jaw, your chin. And let's take a nice big inhale. Bring your arms all the way up towards the ceiling, towards the sky.
Oh, look at the shirts popping.
Bring
That's
your
never
hands
good.
down
The
to
man
your
bod.
heart center. Do it again. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, nice big exhale. Go. Let's take our arms up. This time cross one ankle over the other.
Okay.
Grab one wrist. Think about your hips and your ribs and reach to the
that
side.
feels
Does
good,
that
actually.
not
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like heaven right there?
Did a little curling last night, Linda, and was a little stiff. I'm not going to lie.
And let's take it over to the other side.
Oh,
So
yeah, I got to
switch
do that.
side.
Yeah, I got to do the
Reach first high, 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 high. Think about your hips.
thinking. I'm
Thinking, you're thinking? All right, come on back. Interlace your fingers.
While we do this, remind everybody where they go to register.
24hourYogapalooza.ca.
See, it's that easy, and it's 2 separate days, right? You can go for the full 24 hours, or you can go for the 12 and 12. And of course, I will remind everybody at home at the end of the show. But again, Ottawa Art Gallery, Saturday and Sunday, Saturday the 30th and Sunday, October the 1st. Thank you so much for this,
you're
Linda.
welcome.
Really appreciate
Please come
it.
out. Kids can't fight cancer or shouldn't fight cancer alone.
You heard the lady. We'll be right back.
For 25 years, you've been helping to make our roads safer by doing the right thing. You've been the designated driver, you've stayed over, called home, you've called a cab or a friend, and planned ahead. Let's keep doing the right thing. Support sober driving by getting yourself and your friends home safely.
Do the right thing.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Play 4 games of bingo from the comfort of your own home each Monday at 7 p.m. for your chance to win money from our $2,000 regular bingo or $5,000 super bingo night. Kiwanis TV Bingo, Mondays at 7 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
I'm Nicole Martin, the proud ambassador for the Comfort Bear program. Comfort Bears provide these cuddly bears to local children who are terminally ill, facing trauma, or battling a serious illness. Every $20 donation will place a Comfort Bear into the loving arms of a child involved in our program. It is our hope to distribute 1,000 bears in 2022. Please join us and provide comfort to kids in their time of need.
It's a new season of The New Fly Fisher on Rogers TV.
Hello, my name is Sean Duhame. And this is the Sean Duhame Trio. I hope you enjoyed.
You know what? I think it's appropriate we go from talking yoga to a place called Mindspa and to talk a little neurofeedback. I mentioned off the top of the show, I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to neurofeedback. That's why we bring the experts on the show. I am joined by Tina Wilston, Clinic Director at Mindspa Mental Health Center. Welcome, Tina. Great to have you here. And Yvonne Burwash, Director of Neurofeedback at Mindspa. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
So we'll get into neurofeedback in a moment, but Tina, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about Mindspa, sort of the inspiration behind the business.
Sure, yeah, no, thank you. You know, we're actually really brand new. We just got our keys on August 1st, so we are
really?
brand
This
new
year?
this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. We do psychotherapy and neurofeedback together, and so it's a really exciting time because we want to create a space that's really individualized for each client that comes in. We have like some comfort items. We definitely want to create a very relaxing space at kind of coming in feeling very Zen-like, right. Having nice scents in, nice music playing and that type of stuff. Because sometimes when people are coming for therapy, they're really stressed.
For sure.
They're anxious about the first experience. So we really want to create a very individualized experience for people. And with that, we bring on the neurofeedback as well so that we can offer psychotherapy, neurofeedback. We do biofeedback as well.
Okay.
And so that we can do a holistic approach. One of the things that we have as well is we have psychotherapists, social workers, and we also have psychiatry consults so that if people are looking for diagnosis or medication recommendations, we can provide that service as well. So sort of a holistic approach for mental wellness.
It sounds absolutely amazing. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like putting together a facility like this. So, I mean, this is probably years in the making, I'm sure, right, to get to the point where you are now. Yvonne, I'll ask you about neurofeedback. You know, we've heard the word from Tina a couple of times. What does it mean? What is it exactly?
Yeah, so neurofeedback is essentially training your brain. So it starts with just a consultation to learn about what the presenting concerns are for you as a client. And then we do a brain scan. So we use this one here, and it just sits on the head, nice and snug, and it has electrodes all in it.
Cool.
Yeah, so we get to read the brain activity. It's really neat, and it'll show us different images after, and we'll have where it's red in the brain, it's where there's too much of certain activity, and we have blue, which represents too little of different activity, and then from there we can create a plan of what we're going to treat.
So what are we looking at here? I mean, either one can answer this. What are we looking at?
Here, this is our brain map. This is just a summary, so we have the breakdown of the different waves. And you can see on the map, we have the yellows, the greens, the reds. Those are where there's too much of certain activity.
Okay.
And then we also have in certain areas, there might be blue, which would be the too little. So when we're training, we would place the electrodes on the spots where there's too little or too much, and we would work to either elevate or try to decrease
When
those
you
waves.
say activity, what exactly, like, what, can you give me an example of that? I know it's everyone's individual, I'm sure, but can you give me an example of what that would be?
So for example, let's say someone who's experiencing a lot of anxiety or nervousness, they might have too much beta, which is a fast brainwave.
Okay.
And we don't want too much of that at any point in time. So we would place the electrodes on the part of the scalp where there's chronic, like too much of that.
Right.
And we would use the neurofeedback to train that down. So how it would work is we'd place the electrodes on the scalp at the spot, and you get to watch a movie. So
of your
it's
own
really,
brain.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
No. So
okay, sorry.
No.
I'm making stuff up. Don't listen to anything I'm saying.
So you're watching a movie. Like, we just got this new update. You can watch your favorite Netflix show, Disney Plus.
I see.
And it's it's based off of operant conditioning, so it's like a learning aspect. So when your brain is effectively producing those brain waves that we're trying to increase, the movie is really
so the
clear.
movie helps with that training? Is that the, okay.
Yeah, so when your brain's doing a good job of increasing or decreasing those waves, the movie is nice and clear.
I see.
And then
Okay.
if the brain's not as effective in creating those changes, then we have different effects. So the movie might get like bigger and smaller.
That is so
Or it gets a little bit blurry. Yeah.
Tina, so how long has this technology been in use?
Oh, wow. A very long time.
Yeah.
Decades.
I mean,
But-
obviously, the technology gets better and better, but
Yeah.
this is not something that's, just happened 2 decades ago, right? This has been
No, it's
worked
been
on.
around a long time, but I find it's really popular in the US, and I
Okay.
want to say in Canada it's not as widely adopted. There aren't a lot of clinics, even in Ottawa, that do them. Funny enough, a lot of us are concentrated in the West End.
Really? Okay.
But when it comes to office space in Ottawa, it's kind of a convenient place to find office space. But it's been around for a really long time, and even just the principles behind what it is, which is that classical conditioning, we've understood how that works for a really, really long time. I reward when I'm trying to increase,
Right.
and we're not really punishing, but when that movie gets smaller and more fuzzy, your brain doesn't like it, and so it gets encouraged to kind of keep that picture nice and clear. And then we're also doing some direction. So when we see it working, we're going to have the person turn inward and try to notice how that feels. Right now.
Right.
Yvonne and I will be in high beta because we're on TV for the first time ever.
Nervous energy.
Okay. So that's probably what I am like in life.
Right.
That's what you're probably, what you're explaining. So, booking an appointment, I'm sure, just through the website, that's probably the easiest way.
place.
But do you have to prepare in any way?
Well, so basically the way it works is you're going to come in and do an intake. So you're going to give us a lot of information about what's going on for you. And then from there, we take the information, so we get the QEEG, we get a beautiful picture like we saw over there of the brain. Then we take sort of what the complaints are and what we see in the pictures, and we create basically a plan in order to figure out how we're going to best treat it.
So fascinating.
And then from there, after we get the information, we give you a feedback of sort of explaining to you all of our services and how they would affect each sort of thing.
That's incredible. Thank you both. This has been just a great, fascinating conversation. The mindspa.ca to find out more information. We'll be right back after.
Long way from Nashville and Mama, I'll tell you that. Performed from Montreal to Boston to Los Angeles. But Toronto, that's my chosen home. Sure, when I'm walking down Yonge Street, I see some funny people who have the nerve to point the finger at me. And grin and smile and whisper. My song was #2 on local radio. Sold 10,000 in Toronto alone. Turned down Ed Sullivan because they asked me to remove my makeup. Wouldn't do American Bandstand because of their segregation policies. I was just being me, never tried to explain myself to anyone. And besides, none of that to worry, Jackie, because I know I look good. Got a new way of loving, baby. Thought I want to teach it to you.
Jackie Shane was a pioneer transgender soul singer, a central figure in the Toronto R&B scene. She helped shape what we know as the Toronto sound.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
On Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. The reason my next guest is on the show is because I subscribe to their newsletter and find out the amazing things that they're doing all the time. They have a great gala coming up, but wanted to talk more about the great work that they're doing. And I'm talking, of course, of Ecology Ottawa. Alice Irene Whittaker is the executive director over there at Ecology. Ottawa, welcome. Great
Thanks,
to have
Derek.
you here.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, I mean, in general terms, let's just talk about your mission. What is the mission at Ecology Ottawa?
Absolutely. So we're a grassroots movement of people here in Ottawa, tens of thousands people strong, working to really make Ottawa the green capital of the country. And what that means is making it a place that is livable, healthy, abundant with biodiversity, that we're taking climate action. So it's really taking that local environmental action here in our own city to make it a better place for people, but also for all species and for nature.
Yeah, and you know, on your website, you have a few categories that you really concentrate on, and one is active city. We've heard, you know, active transportation and active living. What does an active city to Ecology Ottawa look like?
Yeah, it's so important. It's true. We have active city, living city, and renewable city. So active city is a city with world-class public transportation. It's where you can get around in any way that you want, where you're moving your body, that it's easy to get around, walkable neighborhoods. And one of our campaigns that I personally really connect with in active city is Breathe Easy, which is monitoring air quality, which this year with the wildfire smoke is more pertinent than ever. But we have volunteers. We had 200 people sign up to go around all different corners of the city and measure the air quality in certain neighborhoods and say, okay, where is the air worse? Which residents have inequity in terms of the air quality there, and how can we actually reduce pollution to make it a more active, healthy city?
You mentioned living city. That's another category. What do you mean by that exactly?
That one's really around nature, around green spaces. A big focus for us is restoring the tree canopy.
Right.
So you were talking about planting trees. We've distributed 60,000 trees to Ottawans so they can plant them, which we're really proud of.
It's a great program. As I said, my wife and I have used the program over the years, and it's, I mean, it's something that's so simple to do, right?
It's so simple, and it really connects you with the place you live, right? Like, Ottawans really care about nature. A lot of people live here for that reason. And to actually go and put your hands in soil, put a tree in the ground, it's not only good, obviously, to have more trees, but it helps you too, right?
For sure,
to connect you to nature and to make you feel like all of that climate anxiety or worry about biodiversity. It's like, I'm doing something.
Well, look, when you move into we moved into a relatively new development when we bought our last house, and you know what's the standard? Plant the one tree on the front lawn, and that's it.
Right.
Like, literally, the rest of the property was barren, you know, and of course we've built it up since then. But we can do so much better in so many different spaces, right?
Right, and where do people want to live? They want to live on that leafy street. People love cities where you walk around and it's made for people. It's made for nature. So that's what we're really trying to do. Another one are pollinator gardens with Living City. So working with community groups to plant pollinator native species where we can have more biodiversity here in our city.
Listen, I could talk to you forever, but we've got to get to the Eco Gala. We've got to get to the Eco Gala. We can come back to some other things if we still have time. But tell me about the Eco Gala. This is the first time it's back since 2019, if I remember correctly,
Yes, we've
right?
had it online like many things, but this is our first time since 2019 in person. Highly anticipated event where we're celebrating local environmental action. So we really welcome all people, so anyone who cares about all of these things I'm talking about, a city that is green, a city where we take true, meaningful climate action, and we're saying come and have a fun night, because environmental action can be fun.
Yes,
you know?
that's true. That's a good point.
You know, so there are going to be amazing speakers. Dr. Ingrid Waldron, who wrote the book There's Something in the Water, which was later turned into a documentary directed by Elliot Page. So Dr. Waldron will be there to talk about environmental equity. Our host is MC Joanne Chianello, and so she'll be there.
Yeah.
Local performers, speakers, a dance party, if that's your thing. I saw the yoga, so dance party, silent auction. We have 50 items already donated, so it's going to really be just a fun night in the National Gallery of Canada. So beautiful space.
Yeah, great spot.
Yeah.
A great spot. I know that another thing that you do is with something that you call Council Watch. But I want to specifically, because one of your news items up there is talking about the budget, right? The 2024 budget that, of course, City Council passed. From your perspective at Ecology Ottawa, what do you think about that budget?
We want to see the priorities of council better reflected in there, and we want to see, our number one ask, I'd say, if nothing else, is we need full funding and implementation for the Climate Change Master Plan. This lays out how we're going to reduce our emissions, how we're going to be resilient to climate going into the future. So very, very important. And we want to see that reflected in this budget and all budgets going forward.
When it comes to that Council Watch, are you watching specific councillors as well? Do you sort of have a grade of individual councillors? What does that look like?
Absolutely, and we're there really for the policies and the ideas more than any individual person.
It's not anything personal about the person.
It's not personal, but of course the way someone votes, it shows what matters to them, right? It shows their priorities, and it shows if they're going to be bold and if they're going to go into the future saying, we are going to do everything we can to make this city livable for people and safe and healthy. So we do watch different councillors, and we're planning on releasing sort of a 1 year of this council, looking at how did people vote, who's ambitious, who's not showing that ambition that we'd like to see it from. So we do keep an eye on everyone, for sure.
Out of all those categories, is there a number one priority at Ecology Ottawa at this time that you're really focusing on?
We have a couple of main priorities, really climate action, like I mentioned. So that is obviously critical. And, those words, climate action, it can make us kind of gloss over, but it's about, we've seen the effects of tornadoes, floods, right? Wildfire smoke. It's about our lives. It really is about our lives. So climate action and then biodiversity, because they're so interconnected.
Yeah.
So those are really the two focus areas.
Reliable public transit?
Of course. Well, that's climate action, right?
I know,
yeah.
But it's just, it's been so frustrating for us here in Ottawa. I just say, people that have to rely or even should be relying on public transit, it's just been so incredibly frustrating.
Well, we deserve world-class transit.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah.
Alice, Irene, thank you so much. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so
the
much.
time. I'll remind everybody at home, the Eco Gala, it is happening at the National Gallery of Canada, Saturday, November 4th at 6:30 p.m. And of course, you can get your tickets online at ecologyottawa.ca. We'll be right back.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You could end up riding in a police car, an ambulance, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation can be a costly choice and do not take you home. Your plan could include a designated driver, a taxi, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride, and have a plan for a safe ride home.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
Salut tout le monde, je m'appelle Jessie Lindsay. Venez écouter mon spectacle Encore Ottawa 3 sur Rogers TV cette semaine. Hi everybody, come listen to my Encore Ottawa 3 show on Rogers TV this week. I hope you enjoy it.
I belong here.
You may think I don't fit in.
That I don't look the part.
But to me, curling is more than a sport.
It's my community.
Together, we can sweep away the barriers.
Create spaces where we all belong.
And experience the joy of curling.
I belong here.
We belong here. We unite, and united we curl.
Play 4 games of bingo from the comfort of your own home each Monday at 7 p.m. for your chance to win money from our $2,000 regular bingo or $5,000 super bingo night. Kiwanis TV Bingo, Mondays at 7 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Welcome back. The beauty of this next segment is I can just throw out David. And it'll automatically be answered because there's two Davids joining us in this segment. David Humphreys is the president and founder of Dreamers Walk Canada, and David Schellenberg is the communications director. David, also a longtime volunteer here, David Humphreys, I should say, here at Rogers TV. How are you?
I'm good. This is interesting being on this side, as I wrote in my post this morning. I've moved from the control room and I get to join you.
Well, happy to have you here. So tell me about Dreamers Walk, Dave, and the fact that you wanted to put this together, because it's not just about one event, is it?
No. So Dreamers Walk was started as just in a couple of events in 2019, and in 2021 we got our nonprofit status. With COVID, we had to do different things, and so this will actually be our first in-person walk, but not our first in-person event.
Right. Finally.
Right?
And it's you've chosen Easter Seals certainly because near and dear to your heart, and raising funds for research to raise awareness with cerebral palsy, and that's something else that's near and dear to your heart, Dave.
So as you know, Derek, I was born with cerebral palsy 35 years ago, but Easter Seals, I spent 12 years as a camper and 1 year as an LIT. So the reason the board picked Easter Seals is because it's something that's near and dear to my heart, but it's also something that helps everybody on top of cerebral palsy.
You're talking about Camp Marywood,
yes.
Right? Yeah, what was that? How special was that in your life to attend that camp, Dave?
So people with disabilities get told, oh, we can't attend a camp. Marywood is one of those camps that are all accessible.
David Schellenberg,
yes,
I turn my attention to you. So how did you come to your role with Dreamers Walk?
Well, yeah, I've known David as well, just like you, for an awful long time. And this event, when it came along, David asked me if I could help, spread some of the communications love to get the word out for it. And I believe my answer was sort of along the lines of, sure. And now I'm here.
I appreciate your honesty, Dave.
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty. Putting together, and when it comes to putting together these kinds of events, Dave, like what goes on behind the scenes? Because you've got a new board of directors too that you're really excited about.
Really, really great new board of directors that has come on. Dave is my communications director. Conrad Quinn, who is our chair again this time around, and then a couple of other local community people. But it's a lot of work, especially with trying to do it the way that we're trying to do it, where we're finding a venue and all that stuff. But then having important people involved and businesses involved is a big thing. Getting sponsors is the big thing. We are also still looking for sponsors, but that's the big thing, and runners. We're also here today. I'm going to let Dave announce our two media ambassadors who have come on again this year. So I'll hand it over to Dave.
Yeah, there's lots of exciting announcements. But there's a couple things to mention. First of all, Camp Maryweather, of course, Marywood. And so we're doing this in a tent. We're going to do the walk inside a big tent. So we're going to raise money for a camp. We're going to do it in a tent. It's going to be big. It's on the Saturday of the Thanksgiving long weekend. Okay. So everybody needs to do a little exercise before you go and eat your big dinner. And we have a great idea for it, and that is this. And to help spread the love, of course, is a couple of media ambassadors, including our good buddy Dylan Black.
Derek Fage.
And Derek Fage joining David and David.
Well,
so we've got, Dylan is going to be a part of it. So it's great to have him on board because, you know, he's another one who we all want to make the world just a little bit better place. So Dylan's involved. And then Derek, of course, you're going to be involved. So now we just need more people whose names start with D to really fill out the committee.
Yeah, we've got Dylan, Derek, Dave, and Dave. Yep. And by the way, your name does not have to start with D to actually be a part of any of this. So,
well, we need a Danielle or a Diana, we need to get some more representation.
I like it. But all letters of the alphabet are welcome at both. Let's talk about the candlelight vigil. That's happening on the Friday, right, Dave?
The Friday night, October 6th is World Cerebral Palsy Day. Actually, it is literally World Cerebral Palsy Day. So we're doing a candlelight vigil to remember those with disabilities and people with cerebral palsy who have passed away over the years, especially over COVID, because it was one of the most difficult times for people with cerebral palsy. A lot of people with cerebral palsy were on ventilators for days and weeks through the COVID. As you know, Derek, one of the things that scared me was being on a ventilator. I'm so happy that I never got COVID and that I never got on a ventilator, but I lost 3 friends with cerebral palsy from being on a ventilator because there weren't even enough ventilators in this city.
Yeah. And then the walk is not just a walk, right? It's sort of a family fun day that you've got planned as well.
So it's a family fun day. We have some other things going on. We have food donations to FAMSAC, running shoe donations to the Boys and Girls Club. Kids at the Boys and Girls Club sometimes don't have running shoes, so this is our way to support other causes on top of our cause.
Yeah. So it's a 1K, a 5K, or 10K, and then a corporate challenge as well. So you can basically pick how big of a challenge would you like to be. It'll come out and saunter with us and do the 1K. I think is a little excellent. Yeah. But again, because this is the Saturday of Thanksgiving, really burn off some calories and do the 10K and make it worthwhile.
They can find out all the information on the website, right, Dave?
Yes.
Excellent. Guys, really appreciate the time, and congratulations to you on all the hard work you've done. We'll be right back after this.
It's a new season of the new Fly Fisher on Rogers TV.
Hello, my name is Sean Duhame. And this is the Sean Duhame Trio. I hope you enjoyed.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
The OHL on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Maybe not do high arm stretching yoga on the show, Derek. That's a note to myself for next time. Let's talk about a couple of events we talked about on today's show. Pumpkins After Dark, that's happening at Wesley Clover Park, September 29th to October 31st, so lots of opportunities. It's Thursday to Sunday evenings, and you can find out more information at pumpkinsafterdark.com. 24-hour Yogapalooza, that again happening Saturday, September the 30th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and then again on Sunday, October 1st, same hours, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can do the 12 hours on one day, 12 hours on the next. You can do the full 24 hours, whatever you want to do. It's happening at the Ottawa Art Gallery. Beautiful spot there. www.24 24HR, 24HR, Yogapalooza.ca for that information. The Eco Gala, my goodness, one event after the other on this show. National Gallery of Canada, that again happening Saturday, November 4th. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Everything gets going at 7 p.m. Tickets for that, Ecology, Ottawa.ca, and you can find out all the information we discussed with Alice, Irene on the show on the website as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Daytime.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
$20. $20. Hi guys, it's Maggie, Mrs. Calabash and Derek, and whoa, we're back. Rogers Television, so please watch us on Rogers Television. We've just done our first show. It was Anytime Shrimp Special and an Asian salad. So please remember, Rogers Television, Mrs. Calabash cooks. I'll see you guys, and it's great to be back. Bye.
I'm Derek Fage, and I encourage you to join me each and every weekday at 2 p.m. for an edition of Daytime Ottawa. We will share with you some fabulous stories,